Hey everybody, so update on journey to swimming. I had a swimming lesson, so I'm going to just go back a little bit from there. I'm also doing this mentoring with my mentor, Carolia, who's taught me to do what I do with you guys. And I spoke about my wanting to confront this not being able to swim. And we unpacked that as we do. As often what you find is it's not actually the thing that you're afraid of or concerned about. There's actually something lying underneath that's creating a block for you. So when we went into it through somatic process, which means to really go into the body and start to feel the emotions that are lying underneath a certain belief system or held and locked within a memory or an event, we went in through the access point of how it felt for me as a 4-year-old in those swimming lessons, that dynamic between mum and me and having that judgment on me. And really what it came down to was that it was really about the judgment of me in that moment that then created a block that said, I'm not able to do this, I'm not good enough, I'm less than the other people. So it could have been around anything. It's particularly attached to swimming, but I actually do and have noticed this showing up in all sorts of areas of my life. And that's what happens, right? You create this belief system and then you live with that belief that you are not good enough. You are not able to do things like other people. You are in some way, this is my belief system, but that I was in some way slow, or there's something wrong with me because I couldn't do it. And this would come to anything that I tried to do that was new. There'd be so much of this doubt and shame and fear in the way. So when we went through and processed that, I was able to actually feel all of those feelings that were stuck within my system, feel them, let them release. And when it came through to the end, it's like, wow, really realizing that it actually wasn't about the swimming at all. It was really, I'm kind of like, now I'm like, oh, well, if I can swim, I can. If I can't, I can't. That's not actually what was creating such an issue. The issue was the fact that I felt so judged, and I really took that on and kind of went into the background with myself and just believed completely that there was something wrong with me and that I just wouldn't be able to do this. So that was big. It happened to be on the same evening that I had booked this swimming lesson. And interestingly, it was booked at a school, a primary school. So when I went there, it's made for children. Everything was tiny. I asked the lady, I wanted to buy some goggles because I'd borrowed my flatmate's goggles, and she was like, oh no, we've only got kids ones. I was like, oh okay, well that makes sense, cool. Then I went into she's like, go to the changing rooms. Went in there, everything's tiny. Like the little cloakroom's tiny, the benches are tiny, the toilet was tiny. And it was like I had this opportunity to go back in time. When I was that 4-year-old girl who was tiny at the time, wearing child's goggles, to go back in time and actually reclaim this experience for myself. So it was really quite poetic and really powerful. I was just like, wow, the universe is so amazing. So I went along, got into the pool for my lesson. There was one other adult there with me, and I actually came to it in a very different way. So I approached it without any of that fear or doubt. I had waves of like, oh, okay, this is confronting, this is going to be, it's outside of my comfort zone, it's challenging. But I think because I had really gone into that belief system and processed a lot of that shame and the separation of self and all of that stuff that was lying under there, I was actually able to just see it for what it was and to recognize that my mind used to just go into complete panic of like, oh, I can't do this, oh, I'm not capable, I'm inferior and I can't, other people can and I can't. All of this just would jumble through my head and I wouldn't be able to focus on the task at hand because I was so sympathetically activated, right? Going into that stress response, going into fear, and then going into freeze because I just was so overwhelmed by the emotion around whether I could or couldn't do it and that judgment. So without that in the way, I was like, wow, I can actually just focus on what I'm doing. And the teachers, showing me different things to do, and he said, oh, you're doing really well with this. We can kind of move you through a lot faster than I would have imagined, which was amazing because the memory for me was I never got to move up through the levels. I was always stuck in that beginner space, not being able to actually grasp it and move up with the other kids. So to be in the pool, feeling like I could actually be present with what was going on, being able to notice the nervous sensation and to bring in my kind inner voice, my, that reparenting of you can do this, you've got this, I believe in you. And then being able to do it and actually do it well was incredible. It was such a beautiful rewriting of that whole experience. And now I literally believe that I will be a swimmer. I really believe that I just need a few more lessons to get that technique and I will be able to do it. So this is incredible. And it's not, yes, the thing itself, being able to swim, awesome, but really it's just a testament also to the work, right? Doing the inner work so that you can free yourself from those things that bind you and then actually live in your desired reality. So yeah, and this is why I'm so passionate about all of this. It's because of the freedom that it can afford you. Yeah, so I may do another couple of updates as I get better and better at swimming. I may not, we'll see. But yeah, really what I wanted to share with you guys was that journey of feeling the block, moving towards it, knowing what work to do, which I'll share in another video actually, so that you can live your best, freest life. That's, I believe, what we're all here for, right? It's just to be the most ourselves we can be, let go of all of that shit that people put on top of us, or all of the wounding that gets in the way of us just being free and joyous and experiencing life. So yeah, peace out for now. I'll see you guys soon.